My name is Helen Jennings and I am here to do my video for April's, goodness me, April already, April's Stamp Around UK video hop, and it is lovely to be here with you. You will find me in all sorts of places, including YouTube, Facebook, all of the social media places, and Love-a-Duckie, and my website, if you're looking for me, is love-a-duckie.co.uk. So do head over and check that out if you would like to know anything more about me. I am based obviously here in the UK and in Northamptonshire, so fairly centrally in the UK. So do come, and I hope you enjoy following along with me. It's been quite a challenging day today. I spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours on the side of the road waiting for somebody to come and fix a tyre, having hit a pothole this afternoon. So that has put my whole day out, hence why we are in the dark doing this video. But hopefully our project will be anything but dark. So let me bring in my downward facing camera and let's have a little play. Now, as always with these Stamp Around UK video hops, there you're going to find in the description below this video lots of other videos listed. Do go and check them out, and we will all have one theme for this April video hop, and that is about using up your scraps. So I thought I would use up some of my cardstock scraps for this particular project. Now I keep mine all as I've got so many individual colours in these sort of envelopes that dies and things come in, so I've got them all on a shelf in individual colours pretty well. The ink colours are sort of paired up, so there's 2 colours per envelope for those, but I've got all of my scraps in these little envelopes and I have dug some out. So in front of me here I've gone into my scraps with black cardstock. I've managed to find a piece that is big enough to cut a frame out using 2 of these Everyday Arches dies. Now it's not the biggest die, it is the second and the third largest die that I have used, and I have run those through my die cutting machine on a piece of basic black card, and I've come up with this black frame. The other thing I have die cut from black is this foliage piece here that is from the Nature's Symphony dies. So it's this piece here. I really like it. It's quite a nice big piece, and you've got all of this sort of detail cut into these leaves, so they are really rather lovely, these leaves. So I have cut some of those leaves with this nice big die, and you can see on the die all of that detail that you're going to get. And I have also gone ahead and cut a whole load of, sort of dug out my strips. That one actually is better than that one, so let me find my trimmer and let's see, does that one need cutting down or is the other one shorter? I think that one, I think it's gone a bit wonky actually, or it was a wonky piece of card to start with. I'll put that one to one side. If we need some more, I will dig it out another bit of Poppy Parade. So I have cut some approximately 1.5 centimetre strips of card in rainbow colours. So I don't know what you use to remember your colours of the rainbow, but we have Richard of York, so that's red, orange, yellow, Gave, which is green, Battle is blue, In for indigo. Well, I've used Secret Sea to represent my indigo, and Vain for violet. So Richard of York, Gave, Battle, In, Vain. And so those are the colours that I have picked to make the rainbow, colours of the rainbow. And as I say, these are all scraps that have come, all cardstock scraps that I have taken from my stash. Right, I'm going to take this frame, this oval frame, and I'm going to run This is a brand new glue, so it's always you don't want it squeezed too hard because you don't want it coming out too fast. You want to get establish a nice little dribble of glue coming around this archway. Like that. And I'm going to lay my strips across the back, and I'm going to go on a sort of horizontal, diagonal. So Richard, I'm going to make sure that our cardstock is sort of coming right over to that arch on that top bit. Richard of York. Of course, it may be that I may need to go back in. Maybe it needs to be a bit longer. Will it need to be a bit longer? Can we squeeze that? No, I think that's going to be about perfect. Gave. Battle. In. Then we'll have our vein. We're going to need to snip off our red on this end. Find some scissors. Snip that off down there. I'll bring that back in up there. And just tuck in a bit of orange there. So let's press this and make sure these are all squeezed up, butting up against each other. Got some stuck to my mat underneath just there. But let's lift that up. Let's cut off our excess and then we can see where we are going. Now, what I perhaps should have done, and what I always forget to do, is use some adhesive sheet on my frame rather than wet glue. Trim that around there, down this side. We'll just get my little eraser rubber and take off a bit fluffy down the bottom there, but we can sort that out in a moment. Could have our leaves going that way, or we could have them coming down and across. I think I quite like them coming down and across like that. So they are making sort of a silhouette against that rainbow background. I'm going to pop these on with some multi-purpose adhesive as well. And have that leaf down at this bottom just here. And we'll let the rest fall. It's got a little bit of black on it as well. Wondered if it was black card, but I'm wondering if it's a little bit of black ink that was left. That's the thing about using scraps, sometimes they are a little bit, maybe a little bit battered, or have got a little bit of extra ink or something on them. So I've got a white mat that I'm going to sit behind that black, and I have picked out the Granny Apple Green for our green stripe. So these were Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Azure Afternoon, Secret Sea, and Gorgeous Grape. And I've picked up, say, the Granny Apple Green for that card base. Got some dimensionals there. And a bit of black twine. If we can find the end, I think this is a new spool, and this is definitely one you could do with daylight rather than artificial. There we go. And I'm going to just take that round there, put it this way a little bit. So yes, I was meant to see my granddaughter this morning. It's her 10th birthday. She's the oldest of my grandchildren. I can't believe it is 10 years since this little bundle of joy arrived and promoted me to grandparent, or nanny as I am to all of my grandchildren. It was rather lovely because all 4 of the grandchildren were there. So Thea and her brother Edison, and my other daughter's 2 children, Kellen and Gracie. Kellen has rather excitedly, my oldest grandson has rather excitedly just discovered that Nanny is on YouTube. So big shout out to Kellen if he's watching this. Who knows, he may one day pop up on one of these videos. To be a YouTube star of his own. Right, so I've put a bit of black twine around there, tied that into a bow. These packs of essential twines are so useful. particularly like the white and the black, but do use the colours as well. So let's turn this over and let's add some dimensionals to the back of here. Take the backs off of those. Add our rainbow arch. To our white mat, and then we will add our basic white mat to our granny apple green hard base. Now, in the stamp sets that go with this set, there is this sentiment that says, "You make me smile," which seemed very appropriate for this card. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig into my offcuts and another bit of black. Get out my embossing buddy, very important, particularly on black card. Get myself a little block and some Versamark. I apologise for the shades and things on these. My lighting is not the best, as I say. I had intended to do this video in the daylight, but then hit a pothole which popped my tyre. So I had to wait for the very nice man to come and fit me a new tyre if I could continue my journey home. A very expensive pothole it turned out to be. Give that little flick. So I've stamped that in Versamark and added some white embossing powder. And let me just get my heat tool out. Apologise if we're a bit noisy for a moment. Just going to let that heat up. And the reason I've stamped this twice is I'm actually going to fussy cut these words out, but because the L on that smile sort of goes up the middle of the sentiment, I may well need two separate pieces. Right, let's cut little pieces of card stuck to there. So let's come in and we're going to cut round our smile first. And to come up here and down there. Around the eye. Cut across here. Let's come round this end of the S for smile. And we'll cut into this bit So there's a smile. Then we need a You Make Me, but I think I will take this separate one. Snip these round. Trim these down so they're quite close. You make. There's me gone. There it is. I've lost me. I have to trim that corner off slightly, but I think he will work. Or we could just tuck that corner of that me sort of up against the leaf so that it's You Make. Me. I'm going to grab some mini dimensionals for the back of my smile. There we go. Let's have a little look and see what we've got in the embellishment front. Flicking through those. Decisions. Let's take some druzy embellishments. Shall we have gold? Or shall we have silvery ones? I think we'll have the silvery ones. I have one down there where we've got that funny little black mark. This, I think, will come off. These little adhesive rubbers are so useful. Let's have a little one there. And we'll have a little one up there. You make me smile. Certainly better than making you cry. Let's have a little look in there. In the stamp set, there's just this little leaf piece that I'm going to add to the insert. Now then, do I go black or do we go granny apple green? I think as if someone is making a smile, then perhaps you want to go granny apple green here. We have some coming down from the top as well. We'll add that on the inside. So you could do a similar sort of effect. You could have different shaped frames. You could have circular frames or rectangular frames, whatever shape frame you want to add your sort of rainbow strips to. And it could, of course, be strips of oddments of DSP as well. It doesn't have to be cardstock. But that is a rainbow background with that sort of black silhouette leaf effect on the top. And the sentiment that says, "You make me smile." We all need people that make us smile. So I hope that has made you smile just a little bit. As I said, do make sure that you go and check out all of the videos that are listed underneath in the description to this video. Make sure you hop around and see all the other lovely using up scrap projects that have been created for this April's Stamp Around UK video hop. And hopefully we will see you next month. But in the meantime, enjoy keeping crafting and see you all soon.